now.
Excellent. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining. TradeZing, Wes Gottesman here. I know I'm not my usual attire. It's a Friday. I'm working from home. What do I gotta say? It's casual Friday. But today, thank you for joining. We're going to be going over individual retirement accounts. Which one's the best one for you? Which one's the right one for you? So just before I get into it, we're going to go into individual retirement accounts as well as employer-sponsored accounts, okay? I'll save business owner / self-employed retirement accounts for another webinar. So first off, across the board, you can only contribute to an IRA if you have earned income. Okay, if you're not working, you cannot open one, unfortunately. That's just how it is. So let's start off with the most well-known IRA, which, as I said before, stands for individual retirement account. That's a Roth IRA, okay? And when you contribute to a Roth IRA, the money that you put into the account has already been taxed. So when you go to take the money out one day, the distributions are tax-free, okay? The maximum contribution for 2023, which sometimes changes, is $6,500 annually. I remember a couple of years ago it was $5,500, then they increased it to $6,000, now it's $6,500. The great thing about a Roth is that the contributions grow tax-free. And what that means is, let's say you purchased XYZ stock at $1 per share. The next year, they have some crazy boom or something happens and the share price soars to $1,000 a share. Let's say your capital gain is $10 million. You won't have to pay a single cent in taxes on that, which is incredible. Okay. So the only downside is that the contributions are not tax deductible. Okay, meaning you cannot subtract that amount from your adjusted gross income. And when I say gross meaning your income before taxes, not disgusting, it's gross. Gross means before taxes, a net amount means after taxes have already been taken out. So at age 59 and a half is when you can begin to take tax-free distributions from Roth IRAs. If you do decide to take money out before 59 and a half, you will have to pay a 10% penalty as an early withdrawal fee. That's just how it is. And at the point when you begin to earn more than $153,000 a year, you can no longer contribute to the Roth IRA. You will have to contribute to a traditional IRA if you do want to continue contributing. If you are a high income earner and you specifically wish to invest your money into a Roth, you can do what's called a backdoor Roth contribution. And so this is when you contribute to a traditional IRA, and then you convert the contribution to a Roth contribution using a series of paperwork. It's a little bit more intensive, and there is paperwork involved with it, but it can be done. It's a little bit more difficult. But for somebody who really wants to do it, I think it's a great idea. So now for a traditional IRA, contributions are made with pre-tax dollars. So when you take a distribution out at age 59 and a half or later, you will be taxed at your ordinary income tax rate, okay? So the earnings do not grow tax-free like the Roth, but tax-deferred. So this means that the investment earnings accumulate tax-free until the investor decides to take the gains out one day in the future. Okay, these contributions are tax deductible, unlike a Roth. So you do get immediate tax benefits from contributing to a traditional IRA. The contribution limits are the same as the Roth, about $6,500 annually. So if you decide to take money out before age 59 and a half, not only do you get slapped with a 10% penalty, but you also have to pay taxes on the ordinary at the ordinary income tax level. So as long as you don't take it out beforehand, you're going to be absolutely fine. So unlike a Roth, with a traditional IRA, you are required to take out distributions, which uses the acronym RMDs, required minimum distributions. As of 2023, you are required to take a minimum distribution at age 73. Okay. So both the Roth IRA and the traditional IRA can be opened in a self-directed investment account with E-Trade or Charles Schwab, but also a broker-dealer and with an advisor. So lastly, I wanted to speak on 401ks. And I'm sure everyone's heard of that before, or if you have one. If you have one and you're not quite sure what it is, here you go. So before I get into the specifics of 401k, I just want to bring one thing up. So I have heard from a couple of different business influencers, such as Grant Cardone, that 401ks are trash and that you should buy real estate with that money instead. Of course, Cardone is going to, condone real estate, but a 401k is not an investment. Okay, like real estate is. It's an employer-sponsored retirement account that is contributed to with an amount that you specifically say to be taken out of your paycheck and invested. Okay, you don't even see it, you don't even feel it come out of your paycheck. Real estate is an investment. 401ks are not an investment. You aren't gonna go buy real estate with a couple $100s a month that you would have put into your 401k. That's silly. And I believe a 401k is actually a phenomenal tool for accumulating money. So the contribution limit for 401ks in 2023 is $22,500. They increased it significantly. It used to be $18,500, but as of this year, they increased it to $22,500. There is a Roth 401k as well as a traditional 401k, which have the same tax implications as what we discussed before. What's excellent about the 401k is that your employer can, and more often than not, will match your contributions annually. So usually they're not going to do a 100% match. If they do, it's a great employer. But they usually do a 25% or a 50% match, which is still at the end of the day free money that's going into your retirement account. That's excellent, right? And so you'll get a 401k login. You can go in, select a pre-made portfolio to invest in, or if you feel so strongly about making your own investment choices, you can go in and select the mutual funds that they allow you to invest in. They usually give you some that you can choose from. So before this, I did a 401k example. You can go on, just type in on the internet, 401k calculator. Usually there's one like on Bankrate, or any of the banks will really have one. So let's say you make $100,000 a year, contributing 6% of your annual salary to the 401k. Let's say you're at age 28. Assuming that your salary never increases, which is unlikely, with a retirement age of 65, making an annual return of 10%, starting out with $1,000 in your 401k, by age 65, your 401k will grow to $3.162 million without having to do anything at all. Obviously, that's a very conservative number. There's a lot of factors that can change, such as how much you make, how much you decide to contribute, how aggressive you go with the investments. That all can change. So there are instances where that might be 4 million, 5 million, 6 million. I've done a couple of ones where I do the maximum contribution every year until I'm 65, maintaining a 12% annual return, which can be done. I think it was like $15 million, which is ridiculous. So play around with it. It's fun to think about, but seriously consider your selections when you are investing your 401k, especially if you're young. And we spoke about in other webinars in the past that when you're young, you have the ability to take on a little bit more risk, invest into some growth mutual funds. in your 401k. If you're a little bit older, maybe do a balance of conservative as well as aggressive. So what happens if you stop working for that employer? So you got a couple of options. One, you can leave it. You won't be able to contribute to it because you no longer work for that employer, but you can leave it and it'll continue to grow and compound. You won't be able to contribute, but it'll still grow with the investments that are in it. You receive dividends, those will get reinvested. Everything will compound, it'll still grow. Or you can roll it over into either a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA, depending on what kind of 401k it is. If there's a Roth 401k, it's got to be rolled over into a Roth IRA. Same with the traditional. Your investment choices increase significantly when you roll it over into an IRA. Right, so the 401k, they give you a pre-made selection of either portfolios or funds. In an IRA, you can invest in anything you want, really. So when you do the rollover, you can resume your contributions to the IRAs, either at $6,500 annually, and then you can also benefit from the taxes, the tax benefits of the traditional or the Roth IRA. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me either on TradeZing or on Instagram at the Wes Gottesman. Thank you so much for joining. We'll see you next time.